Welcome back to the Daily Uplift Official for encouragement you can count on. I'm Dr. Tim and I'm grateful you've joined me today. If you're new to the channel, welcome. Here we focus on faith, encouragement, healing, personal growth, and practical wisdom for navigating life's challenges. Before we begin, take a moment to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notifications so you'll never miss a message designed to uplift and encourage you. Now, let me ask you a question. Have you ever noticed how different your thoughts sound on a bad day? Have you ever been having a rough day and suddenly started questioning everything? Your future, your purpose, your abilities, your relationships, your dreams, your faith. Things seemed possible yesterday, suddenly seem impossible today. Things felt hopeful yesterday and suddenly feels hopeless today. And before you know it, you've convinced yourself that your life is falling apart. That's why today's message is titled, "The Most Dangerous Person You Ever Listen to Is Yourself on a Bad Day." Let's talk about it. One of the biggest mistakes people make is believing every thought that enters their mind. Not every thought deserves your trust. Not every feeling deserves your obedience. Not every emotion deserves control over your decisions. Yet on bad days, we often treat our thoughts as facts. We assume that because we feel something, it must be true. If we feel discouraged, we assume things are hopeless. If we feel rejected, we assume no one cares. If we feel afraid, we assume danger is everywhere. If we feel inadequate, we assume we're failures. But feelings are not always reliable indicators of reality. Bad days distort perspective. Think about a pair of sunglasses. When you put on dark glasses, everything appears darker. The world didn't change. Your lens changed. The same thing happens emotionally. When you're exhausted, stressed, hurt, disappointed, grieving, or overwhelmed, you begin viewing life through a distorted lens. The problem isn't always your circumstances. The problem is the filter through which you're viewing them. That's why people make some of their worst decisions on their worst days. People quit jobs on a bad day. People in relationship on bad days. People abandon dreams on bad days. People give up themselves on bad days. People give up on themselves on bad days. People walk away from opportunities on bad days. And many times they regret it later. The danger isn't the bad day itself. The danger is allowing a temporary emotion to make a permanent decision. You see, there's a voice inside each one of us. Sometimes the voice encourages us. Sometimes the voice motivates us. But sometimes the voice becomes our harshest critic. It reminds us of every mistake, every failure, every embarrassment, every disappointment, every weakness. And if we're not careful, we'll begin listening. We'll begin agreeing. We'll begin believing. We begin accepting those negative messages as truth. But here's something important to remember. Your mind is a powerful tool, but it's not always an accurate narrator. Sometimes your mind tells you stories that aren't true. Sometimes it predicts disasters that never happen. Sometimes it magnifies problems. Sometimes it minimizes blessings. Sometimes it focuses exclusively on what's wrong while ignoring what's right. That's why self-awareness is so important. You have to learn how to challenge your thoughts. Ask yourself, is this thought actually true? Is there evidence for it? Would I say this to someone I love? Would I believe this if I weren't upset right now? Many navigate thoughts, many negative thoughts fall apart under examination. You rarely stop to question them. Instead, we accept them automatically. One of the greatest lessons you can learn is that you are not your thoughts. You are the observer of your thoughts. You can choose which thoughts to entertain and which thoughts to reject. Just because a thought enters your mind doesn't mean it deserves a permanent residence there. Imagine someone knocking on your front door. You wouldn't automatically invite every stranger inside. You evaluate them first. Yet, many people invite negative thoughts into their minds without question. The result is anxiety, fear, discouragement, hopelessness, self doubt. The truth is that some thoughts deserve to be turned away. Not every thought deserves your attention. Not every thought deserves your energy. Not every thought deserves your belief. And this becomes especially important on bad days because bad days often create temporary blindness. You stop seeing your strengths. You stop seeing your progress. You stop seeing your blessings. You stop seeing your victories. All you see are problems. But consider this: the same person who feels defeated today may feel hopeful tomorrow. The same situation that feels impossible today may feel manageable next week. The same challenge that seems overwhelming right now may eventually become part of your testimony. Why? Because emotions change, perspectives change, circumstances change. Bad days don't last forever. One reason we struggle is because we expect ourselves to be strong all the time. That's unrealistic. Nobody is positive every day. Nobody is confident every day. Nobody feels motivated every day. Everybody has difficult moments. Everybody has discouraging seasons. Everybody experiences emotional lows. The goal isn't to avoid bad days. The goal is to avoid making bad decisions on those days. When you're emotionally exhausted, give yourself permission to pause, rest, pray, reflect, breathe. Talk to trusted people, but don't make major life decisions while your emotions are driving the car. Some of the greatest regrets in life happen because people acted on temporary emotions. Remember this: storms distort visions. Storms distort vision. That's true physically and emotionally. Pilots know that when visibility decreases, they must rely on instruments rather than feelings. The same principle applies to life. When emotions are intense, rely on principles, rely on faith, rely on wisdom, rely on truth, rely on God's promises. Don't rely solely on your feelings. Your feelings matter, but they don't always tell the whole story. Faith means trusting truth even when emotions disagree. Somebody watching this today is fighting an internal battle. You're exhausted, you're discouraged, you're questioning yourself. Maybe you're wondering if you're good enough. Maybe you're wondering if you'll ever succeed. Maybe you're wondering if things will ever improve. I want you to hear me clearly. Don't let one bad day convince you that you have a bad life. Don't let one disappointment convince you to abandon your purpose. Don't let one decision define your future. Your current emotions are not your final decision or destination. You have survived your difficult days before. You have overcome challenges before. You have made it through storms before. And you can make it through this one too. Your voice in your head may be telling you to quit, but the truth may be telling you to keep going. The voice in your head may be telling you you're not good enough, but God says you are fearfully and wonderfully made. The voice in your head may be telling you that you'll never recover, but your story isn't finished. The voice in your head may be telling you it's over, but God may be preparing you for a new beginning. Never underestimate the difference between how things appear on a bad day and how they actually are. Some of the greatest breakthroughs may come after your darkest moments. Some of your biggest blessings may arrive after your greatest struggle. Some of your strongest seasons may emerge from your weakest days. Don't trust every thought. Test it, examine it, challenge it, and compare it against truth. Because most dangerous because the most dangerous person you'll ever listen to is yourself on a bad day. Especially when you're speaking faith or you're speaking fear instead of faith. Doubt instead of hope, defeat instead of possibilities. As we close today's message, I want you to remember something powerful. A bad day is a chapter, not an entire story. A setback is an event, not an identity. A struggle is a season, not a life sentence. The next time you're having a bad day, be careful what you tell yourself. Speak life, speak truth, speak faith, speak hope, and remember that your emotions may be real, but they're not always reliable. Thank you for spending time with me here on the Daily Uplift Official for encouragement you can count on. If this message encouraged you, please like, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs this reminder. Leave a comment below and tell us what happens or what helps you stay grounded when you have a bad day. Until next time, keep your faith strong, keep moving forward, and don't let a temporary feeling make a permanent decision. I'm Dr. Tim, and this is the Daily Uplift Official for encouragement you can count on. God bless you, and I'll see you in the next video.